Hey gang, so this is my first video of whatever sort. Hopefully it's starting something, but I obviously have stated to friends that I've wanted to come out and say things in regards to everything that's going on right now, and even myself and where I'm at. A lot of people. Old friends, asked me how in the heck could I be feeling and believing the things I do and feeling the way I am. Um, but obviously, when it comes to politics, things are moving so quickly right now. So much going on that really all there is to say is for those who support our president, have no worries. He'll be our president still. Those who do not support him, what do you support? Do you want America? Do you want a country where you can, feel, just free to be yourself? I see so much, anti-America, anti this, anti that, anti. But really, what your what your vote says is that you're literally anti a constitution. And so I think I think it's important to look into that. This wasn't meant to be a video where I just put down the non-believers, but in that case, bring it to mandates and pandemics and whatnot. And again, so much going on, but I really think it's important, no matter what you believe, to not follow through with all the shutdowns and the lockdowns and the mandates and anti-holiday festivity rhetoric that's going around right now. To push back and fight against all that, because although there may very well be an actual virus, iodine neutralizes it. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, there are plenty of other ways in treating this that are totally natural, including the immune system, and so you have to look at what they're doing, and you have to see why. Geez, I mean, is just what Agenda 201. That's just one place to begin your research. If you don't have all of the information, if you just listen to people who tell you not to believe something because it's crazy, or not to look into something because they tell you not to, that should be a giant red flag. So to begin with, I just want to say, don't be afraid and live for love. And you'll start to see that certain folks don't have your best interest in mind, and that there literally is agenda to turn this country and the rest of the world into impoverished nations of highly controlled individuals, who are sedated and do whatever they're told. If some of our southern friends and some of our eastern friends have shown us anything, it's that America really is the last bastion of true, freedom. And we haven't been perfect, but we're founded on something that has been fought against since its inception. And I feel this year is the first time that we've really gained a stronghold against the opposition of our Constitution and our freedoms and whatnot. And again, these are things that maybe I can explain in more detail later. But I really think it's easy to look into. And if you go in with an open and discerning heart and without a desire to just negate or disprove a wealth of information and thousands of people who go against the main narrative that 5 companies are bringing to you. I don't care how independent your news source is. If it's a news source, chances are it's owned by 5 companies. Yes, if you look around, you'll see the memes that say 6 companies, but one of those companies was bought. Can't remember which one. It's like Viacom bought somebody. Anyway, I'm nearly 7 minutes into a rambling video here, and what I really wanted to do was just talk about gratitude and in the spirit of Thanksgiving. Something that I think we need, and I've had gratitude for this year because it's coming from a place of loving and a place of faith. It really shows how little power something like a pandemic has, and shows just how important it is. And I hate not to pat myself on the back, but for people like myself, or others who don't go along with regulations that don't do anything to help one's health, but just to shut down human nature, and to move us into what they're calling the Great Reset. Look it up. To have a candidate that, despite flaws that we all have, the good outweighs his flaws, and to love what he's doing, and to be able to see literally through the part he plays in order to bring down those more vile than him, how he can use Twitter or just a soundbite to bring knowledge to those who don't know. He says something wrong, so people look it up. It's fun. But so really quick on that. If I didn't say it already, I'm just looking at the time and how little I've said. Nearly 10 minutes, and I've just rambled. And I don't remember what I've been saying. But so as per the election, if you're one of the people that are saying concede already, you're not paying attention. You're not paying attention to any of the facts. And no matter what, because there has been fraud of all sorts, it doesn't matter if the Kraken never gets released, and the Dominion never falls. There's plenty of evidence of fraud, and that is enough to nullify the election. And constitutionally, it goes to the incumbent. So no matter what, everything that's going on right now points to the fact that Trump will be your president again for 4 years. He's, unless of course Justice Roberts doesn't do his job. That's really that's the last guy. Yeah, I kind of trust everybody else, but he's well, we're praying for him in any case. But really, because it's coming down to the Supreme Court, as it should. Because really, the whole entire point of the Trump presidency has to reinstate the importance of an American president, as we've known for years. The presidency really doesn't matter. It's almost in a way just ceremonial. Just as bad as the vice presidency in a way. That really it's the people behind the president, the lobbyists and the puppet masters and whatnot that have really been in charge. And that's the point of the Trump presidency, is to make the president where the buck stops, that make him the true commander-in-chief of the United States. And even if Trump goes down with the Titanic, and the Titanic is sinking, it will not be in vain, because his presidency, this election, the last election, meaning 2018 and 2016, have all been set up for this one so that we can see how bad fraud is. Fraud that we've known has gone on for years. Since the beginning. You just watch Gangs of New York and see the way it used to be done. They just drag people in and make them vote at gunpoint. We know that there's been fraud, and anyone who says there hasn't been before this election, or that says that this election was fraud-free, is not doing their research and is paying attention to talking heads, people that we call comedians, who have become propagandists. I'm sorry, Stephen Colbert is not to be trusted. John Oliver's not to be trusted. What's his name? Tonight Show guy. SNL. It's all propaganda. It's not funny. Anyway, rant. Yeah, so if you're not paying attention, or if you're afraid, if you are paying attention close enough, but you still are questioning, don't. Trump will be our president. If he's not, it's because 2016 he was one of Hillary Clinton's what do they call them? Pied Piper candidates. So he was, he was pushed, and that's why they're so angry at him, is because he turned against them. But if anything, that's, if there's any reason in 2016 that he wasn't legitimately made president, it would not be because of, say, Russia or anything like that, but it would be because of the Democratic Party and the powers that had been. The Obama administration, which again, you need to come to terms with Obama not being the guy that you wanted him to be. Obama, his presidency is over, and we can finally look back and see what he actually did. And what he actually did was nothing. And what he did, nothing good, except for, bathroom laws. But what he did do was strengthen our enemies, and even create some. We know that ISIS, Benghazi, all that, I don't need to go into it yet. But anyway, if Trump doesn't become our president, it'll be because of legal reasons, but it will be virtuous in the sense that it was meant to re-establish the presidency as legitimate. I mean, just now we've got machines that were made by the CIA for Venezuela, and our votes were being tallied and counted in Frankfurt, Germany, and Spain. That's not good for America. It's not good for the world. The rest of the world knows this. They see it. They see what's going on in this country. While we're sitting here bickering about why won't Trump concede, it's because he's got no reason to concede, because the election was fraudulent. In any case, let's see. I said I'd be grateful. I said that this message was about gratitude. So I'm grateful that we're going through this period of history. That there is this attempt to save America from those who have wanted to destroy it for years. Particularly the group that we have now, for 30 to 70 years. But in earnest since its inception. And since I'd say I think it was about 10 years or so after 1776 did we become basically a corporation for the UK, for England anyway. So this is again what we are fighting against. It's huge, and that's something to be grateful for. If it doesn't succeed, fine. Then we've got the rapture to look forward to, because obviously after it's hard to say her name, after Kamala peels the aviators off of Biden's dead body and assumes her role, there's not much of this world left. It's gonna go quick. And so, yes, like I said, got the rapture to look forward to, and therefore, better get right by God, because by God, He's real, and that's a whole nother video. But yeah, in fact, that is something I want to get into to explain how I went from how most of you know me as sort of, say, the psychedelic, new agey spiritualist to a psychedelic Christ follower, without the psychedelics. Yeah, explain that. Yeah, so I don't know what else I've got to say, except that be grateful. Have a good Thanksgiving. If you're in Oregon, have some turkey. Get together with your friends. Do as much heroin, crack, cocaine as you want, obviously, and but be grateful. Be grateful that you have the right still to give the bird, in this case the turkey, to the authorities, because they don't have the authority to go against